Swing and a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions. For the first time in 86 years, the Red Sox have won baseball's world championship. Can you believe it?
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fenway Files. We have a quick video today, just because I do have some other things that I need to do. There are two topics I want to cover today. First of all, being an injury update, because unfortunately, there are a lot of injuries and some weird things going on with the Boston Red Sox. It's okay, don't worry about it. And the second thing is the AL East as a whole, because there's some big news about some injuries related to some key opponents of the Boston Red Sox. So I'm going to start first with the big news, looking at the AL East, and that is that Garret Cole needs Tommy John surgery. Why is that important? Well, if you're not sure who Garret Cole is, he is the ace for the New York Yankees. He has been their inning eater over the past 4 seasons. He starts every single major postseason game for them. He was the starting pitcher during their elimination game in last year's World Series. And he is Rafael Devers' son. The problem for the Yankees is that they were not expecting his elbow to explode. So they are left shorthanded. And when I say shorthanded, I mean ridiculously shorthanded. Now, they were smart. They made a lot of moves this offseason that are going to help them offensively. But their starting rotation right now is in shambles. And why am I mentioning that is that this is the perfect opportunity for the Red Sox to put their foot on the gas pedal, put their foot onto the necks of the New York Yankees, and win the damn division. This is the best opportunity that the Red Sox have had since 2018 to win this division. So I'm just looking at the New York Yankees depth chart right now at starting pitcher. They don't have a single starter that ate more than 170 innings last year. Carlos Rodon right now is their number one. If Carlos Rodon is your number one, your franchise is cooked. Plain and simple. I don't know what word I was looking for there, but Carlos Rodon has not been good over the past couple of seasons. And I'm just going to mention a couple of stats really quick, because his Baseball Savant page, outside of how little runs people get off of his off-speed pitches, is really bad. I mean, he's going to strike out a lot of people. He only pitched in, like I said, it was about 170 innings last season, and he had 195 strikeouts, so that is a lot. But his exit velocity coming off the bat is almost 91 miles an hour, meaning that people are hitting the ball ridiculously hard. And people are also hitting the ball off the barrel, meaning that you have the biggest chance to actually hit a home run or to get better outcomes, triples, doubles, bigger slugging percentage. He is in the 4th percentile, meaning 96% of the league has a better barrel percentage than Carlos Rodon. He gave up 34 home runs last season. Now, if you're a Red Sox fan, you're aware that Cutter Crawford became really bad with giving up the home run ball. Carlos Rodon gave up more home runs last year than Cutter Crawford. So, plain and simple, the Yankees' replacement for Garret Cole right now is not good. He's also 32. And he's also 255 pounds, so say what you want about his overall physique, but he's 32 years of age. I'm looking at his innings pitched. He was at 175. The year before, he was at 65 because he was hurt for most of the season. He has never once pitched more than 180 innings. So if you're going to depend on him to be your number one, you are screwed. Now, who could be their number two? Well, they signed Max Fried to a massive contract. Now, Max Fried is also basically the same age as Carlos Rodon. Looking at his Baseball Savant page, it's going to look better than Carlos Rodon's because he is a better pitcher than Carlos Rodon. If they are smart, they make Max Fried their one, but they're probably not going to because of the amount of money that they are paying Carlos Rodon. Now, Max Fried has eaten innings in the past, especially in 2022. He pitched over 180 innings. He was in 185.1 innings. Now, last season, he was at 174 innings with 166 strikeouts, so he's not going to strike out as many people as Carlos Rodon. His stuff simply is not that good. He does not get people to whiff that much. However, what he does do is he prevents hard-hit balls. He produces more ground balls than any other player on the Yankees. He's actually in the 96th percentile with 59% of the outcomes that he gets when he pitches being ground balls. Only 5% of batters hit the ball on the barrel, meaning that the ball is not going to travel very far. That also kind of goes hand in hand with the ground ball. He is 89th percentile in barrel rate, 81 percentile in hard hit rate, and 96 percentile in ground ball rate. Now, what does that mean for the Yankees? Their defense better be better than it was last year, because last year their defense was not good. Anybody tend to look at Game 5 defense for the New York Yankees, that fifth inning? Putrid. So, looking at other people outside of those two, you have Luis Gil, who is injured right now, probably not going to start until May. Marcus Stroman, who is terrible, who was on the World Series roster, who did not get a single inning pitched in the World Series. He was left off of the ALCS roster, on the ALDS roster, and on the World Series roster, and never once pitched. Clark Schmidt is the only hope outside of Max Fried that the Yankees have in their starting rotation. He's another one who has not pitched a lot in the past couple of seasons. Now, they did make a big move. They signed Devin Williams to be their closer, so Luke Weaver, who sucked in most of the postseason, does not have to have that weight put on him. Outside of Devin Williams and Luke Weaver, no offense to a couple of the people who I'm going to mention, their bullpen is fucking terrible, okay? Jake Cousins, Tim Hill, Clayton Beeter, Yerry De Los Santos, Scott Efros, who they acquired a couple of seasons ago, Ian Hamilton, Jonathan Loaizaga, who is a noticeable name, Will Warren, Fernando Cruz, Brent Hedrick. I don't even know who half of these people are. My best guess is after spring training, half of these dudes are going to be working at McDonald's. No offense to these people. They are major league pitchers, but they are not good major league pitchers. They have Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, and a bunch of bums. So I don't know what they expect over down in the Bronx, but it's not going to be very pretty with Garret Cole not being in their starting rotation. Now, I'm just going to highlight a couple of additions they made offensively, not that it necessarily matters. Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, they're two big ones. Signed Paul Goldschmidt, traded for Cody Bellinger. DJ LeMahieu's probably going to get cut from the team at some point. I don't know what's going on with him. But they overall defensively need to be better if your best pitcher is going to produce more ground outs than any other thing or almost any other player in Major League Baseball. Now, that's the first part of this video. The second part of this video is looking at the Red Sox injuries, because there is some weird stuff going on down in Fort Myers. First, there's physical injuries, and then the second thing is some really weird sicknesses going on. So if you've been paying attention to any of the reports going on, there's a weird sickness that is basically plaguing like every single major star the Red Sox have. Roman Anthony, our soon-to-be best player on the Red Sox, hopefully, lost 11 pounds due to whatever the hell's going on. Now, that brings back memories of last season where Vaughn Grisham lost 10 pounds in spring training and was never the same player. So it all kind of started with Wilyer Abreu, who has yet to play in a spring training game. He showed up to camp sick. Now, he is also expecting a child, so I can kind of understand his safety precautions being a little bit more severe than some others. But Marcelo Meyer was sick for a while. Roman Anthony, as I mentioned, was sick for a while. Tristan Casas was sick for a while. So there is something going on down in Fort Myers. I don't know if somebody just like spit in the water fountain and it's just passing on to everyone. But we need to get healthy. And I don't know if Cora wants to just maybe give some players a couple of days off to feel better, gain some of their weight back, get in the weight room. But we have way too many players sick right now. Then comes the physical injuries. Now, these physical injuries, there are a lot. Thankfully, it's not as bad as the Yankees, who basically don't have half of their starting roster from last year's World Series. But a couple I want to point out is Brian Bayo, who was last year's opening day starter, is probably not going to be ready to pitch until May. He has right shoulder inflammation, which is not what you want to see out of your right-handed pitcher, meaning his throwing shoulder hurts. Now, it's not his elbow, so it's not a UCL-type Tommy John injury, but a right shoulder inflammation can put you down for at least 6 weeks. So it says, according to the Red Sox official injury update, that he is expected early to mid-April, but knowing Brian Bayo, it's probably going to be the beginning of May. Now, Trevor Story scared the entire fan base on Red Sox Twitter a couple of days ago when he was scratched right before our spring training game on March 11th, which is yesterday. Thankfully, it was mild upper back tightness, meaning that he probably just slept the wrong way. He should be back tomorrow. So hopefully Story is fine, because we cannot afford another injury-prone season from Trevor Story. Now, Rafael Devers is in a really weird situation because he was supposed to play Tuesday, then it was Wednesday, then now it is Saturday. So I don't know if he is just not feeling 100% or if they are trying to push him off the best they can, but he is rehabbing his shoulder, which is the same injury he got in Seattle at the beginning of last season. Now, I've already made my opinions on his injury in Seattle public. I believe they should have shut him down, long story short, but he needs to fix his shoulder. I don't care if you shut him down for the rest of spring. Get him right, or else this team is not going to be where they need to be. I've already highlighted Wilyer Abreu. He has a GI illness. Hopefully he can get his strength back. He's aiming to be open for opening day. However, knowing how serious of an illness he is facing, I have a really strong feeling he is not going to be ready for opening day, leaving our right field position wide open. Now, what I'm hoping for is that they don't rush Roman Anthony into a opening day starting position. Let him mature in the minors just a little bit. He has not had a full season in AAA. Give Trayce Thompson a chance. I'll get into Trayce Thompson in another video. Now, Masataka Yoshida has a labrum tear in his right shoulder. Now, he is trying to rehab that shoulder, or his backhand shoulder, the one he follows through with. He's another one who is aiming to be ready for the start of opening day. He was in the lineup today, so I need to see how he did. However, if he's not right, it's just another injury that's kind of starting to tack up. Now, if Masataka Yoshida, who is our designated hitter, is not ready for opening day, that opens up designated hitters, or the position of the designated hitter, maybe to people like Rafael Devers. Just throwing that idea out there. Cutter Crawford's probably down until the middle of May. Cutter Crawford has knee issues in his right knee, which is his push-off leg. He lands on his left, push-offs with his right leg. That causes a lot of soreness when you're trying to throw the ball. If his knee's not right, then he's not going to be any good to the team. So our opening day starter from last season and our third best starter are now down for at least the next first month of the season, meaning that somebody from AAA is going to have to come up and make some starts. It's probably going to be Quinn Priester and Richard Dick Fitz. I don't know if it's going to be one or if it's going to be both. I will highlight that we did sign Patrick Sandoval, another left-handed pitcher with a lot of experience. He was on the Angels last season, underwent Tommy John surgery in July. He should be back by the All-Star break or sometime after that. Now, something that concerns me is one of our AAA arms, who was an up-and-comer, looked really good last season, is Zach Penrod. He is down with left elbow inflammation. According to Alex Cora, as of February 22nd, he's going to be out for a while. If you ask me, he's probably going to need Tommy John surgery, because that's just what happens when young, controllable arms for the Red Sox start having injury problems. Chris Murphy is another one who went through Tommy John surgery on April 10th. He's probably not going to be ready until the end of the season. So, we have a big group of people who are sick, and a big group of people who are hurt. So we need to get healthy by the time opening day starts. Now, Cutter Crawford, Brian Bayer are not going to be ready for opening day. Core has already made that very clear. What does that mean for the rest of our rotation? If I was Alex Cora, I would keep them at the same pace they're at now. Do not try to rush them into the season, because the last thing this team can afford is Garrett Crochet getting hurt. Lucas Giolito just went down with a damn hamstring injury. I haven't even mentioned him yet. So he is supposed to be day to day. Now, he is a player who has not pitched in almost 2 full years. He pitched 1 inning on March 11th, and then he went down with hamstring tightness in his leg. Maybe he didn't stretch right. I don't know what the hell is going on down in Fort Myers, but he needs to get healthy also. So what we need to do is take our time, get healthy, but once opening day comes, we need to start being aggressive, and we need to be aggressive during the All-Star break, and especially before the trade deadline, especially if the Yankees are not doing very well. Now, if by some chance the Yankees are still first in the division and we're 15 games back, then that's a conversation for a later day. But right now, the Yankees will not have Garret Cole for the entirety of the season. Luis Gil will not be ready until probably the middle of April, beginning of May. Carlos Rodon is only going to get worse as he's getting older. So the Yankees are running out of viable options. Now, fingers crossed they don't go trade for some all-star type Dylan Cease player, but right now the Red Sox have a very big opportunity ahead of them this season to win the division and make it into the postseason, which is something we have not done since 2021, which, if you ask me, was a fluke. Now, that team was awesome, but that team was also not really supposed to make it to the postseason. Now, if you watch that team, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, again, we've covered the Garret Cole injury, Red Sox injuries, a lot of players being sick. But please, if you are watching this, you know how serious the Garret Cole injury is. You know that the Red Sox have a massive opportunity in front of them to not only make it to the playoffs, not only make it through the wild card, but possibly win the damn division, because the Orioles only got worse this offseason. The Blue Jays got worse. Now, they did shore up their infield defense, but that's a story for a later day. I'll go into predictions in a later video. So I won't take up too much more of your time. I do appreciate you taking a look at this video. If you want to show me your support, like, subscribe. I'm on YouTube, Spotify. You can find me there. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, all under the Fenway Files. So hopefully the Red Sox take advantage of the opportunity that is in front of them. Unfortunately, it is at the expense of a player, all-star caliber player for the Yankees, getting hurt. As a Red Sox fan, I can't get upset over a Yankees player needing Tommy John surgery, but it does suck for the sport as a whole. Well, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, and go Sox.